Okay, Carly, I just mentioned my parents are watching. They're in Houston. They're interloopers inside 610. Good morning, Mom and Dad. Stay dry. Their power's going in and out.
Waving to?
I'm waving at us.
Power's going in and out. That's going to be the story across the board. In Palacios, where Bill was, and throughout the whole stream of that of the storm, you can see on AEP's website, power just keeps going out in more and more homes without it.
And you know, before the forecasts kept shifting, that could have easily been the story here. So that's why we feel a little over prepared now, but at one point, I mean, that was, what is today? The 8th, right? So today's the 8th, just 3 days ago, and typically forecasts are fairly accurate at 3 days out, but 3 days ago on July 5th at 4 a.m., the forecast cone was headed right for us with the center. And so, yeah, forecasting tropical systems is not easy, especially when there's a lot of variables at play, and we saw pretty much all of them. So essentially, the forecast center line, it just kept shifting and shifting and shifting. And of course, finally, with landfall there at Matagorda. So Matagorda saw pretty much the center of the eye. Now, it wasn't a very strong hurricane. It was only Category 1, so it didn't have the well-defined eye wall, but there was a nice break in the rainfall as the eye was passing over. Now the eye is looking a little bit more jagged and messy there as it continues to move north. It was a Category 1 storm at landfall, 80-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Right now we're still getting 80-mile-per-hour sustained winds, but the gust did get bumped up to 100 miles per hour since 4 a.m. this morning. So this is the latest update as of 6 a.m. So now that it's making landfall, the National Hurricane Center updating the current conditions every hour. Wind is out of the north at 12 miles per hour, pressure 979. It is 55 miles southwest of Houston. And so something to remember, it's these outer bands, so these kind of feeder areas of energy. So right through here is where we're expecting some of the highest risk, and right here as the eye is starting to approach there on the outer side. But this is where we're expecting some of the higher risk of tornadoes is going to be on the right side of the center of this storm. That's where the heaviest rainfall, the flooding risk as well is going to be. So look at this. The good news is the coastal bend no longer in a hurricane warning because it has made landfall now at Matagorda Bay, or at Matagorda, the city. We are going to see the storm continue to produce the chance of tropical storm force winds even up through Shreveport. So this is the path Beryl took because of the strength of this low pressure trough. So this low pressure trough got low enough to tap into Beryl early enough to steer it toward Houston instead of Corpus Christi. We saw the split in the high pressure like we were talking about all week long, and Beryl did turn north. We do have a weak little tropical wave that's going to move through, but overall what that's going to do is just boost our rain chances a bit, it looks like, for the middle of the week. Then as we head into the weekend and the second half of the week, look what happens, high pressure. So we're kind of on the edge of the high pressure, and so we may still see a few opportunities for rainfall here or there, but high pressure starts to take back over as we head into next week. So right now, the tropical overview, besides Beryl, National Hurricane Center not monitoring any tropical waves for a chance of development. So that's some great news to hear after all the prep we went through. Today, nice conditions, North Beach, not dealing with any type of storm surge, and I don't expect you to. High tide may be a little higher than you're used to. That's coming up 4 or 5 p.m. this afternoon. Wind is going to be on the light side and out of the west, which is offshore, keeping water at bay. Now, we are in a coastal flood advisory still, especially for our Gulf-facing beaches. You may notice the tide still running a little high because of the active swells that are coming from Beryl. That also creates a dangerous rip current. So when water comes up shore, it has to go back out to sea, and that creates that really strong rip current the higher the water gets up. 98 degrees your high today. We do, again, I mentioned the coastal flood advisory. We also have a heat advisory because it's going to be hot here. So we are back to our normal, same old pattern, not anticipating any tropical activity, just just our typical coastal bend heat. So this is Beryl. You see all the rain is basically out of view for us. What we are dealing with is 95-degree temperatures there at 1 p.m. this afternoon, 98 degrees. Actually, areas into the brush country, I think you're probably going to make it to 100. You see Alice there peaking out at 100 into the late afternoon. Gusts maybe 19 miles per hour, but we can handle that. In your 7-day forecast, we are going to keep it rather calm for the upcoming week. Sustained wind up to 20 miles per hour on Thursday and Saturday. There's a chance for a few showers and storms. Really, there's not a 0% chance of rain on Monday and Tuesday, but overall, it's very isolated, kind of sea breeze induced possibility.